Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's whale blubber. Face. Hello, and welcome to the very first episode of Hi, Mom. So like I said, welcome to the first episode of Broadcast from the McHughniverse, where I will talk about the right life, my personal life, pretty much whatever I feel like putting on this because I own it, and now that I'm putting on the internet, I guess you own it too. So you can follow along, you can skip ahead, you can send me questions and emails and possible stories that I will read blind on the broadcast. And I will do my very best to be entertaining and informative and to speak in my normal voice instead of my broadcaster voice. Actually, that's more of a sex pot voice. Oh. For those of you who don't follow me on Facebook or on my website, Jessica McHugh Books, hi! I'm Jessica McHugh. I'm an author, poet, playwright. I have 17 published books out there from various small presses like Postmortem Press, Perpetual Motion Machine Publishing, Evolved Publishing, and those books span every genre ever created. That's not true, but there's a lot of them. All the way from bizarro sci-fi to an edgy young adult series to historical fiction. So I like to play, and I'll throw some maybe a cover here, or a cover here, a cover here, and here. And I'll put some links in the YouTube video so you can click those or not. You could just say, fuck you, Jessica McHugh, and I don't want to read your books. Show us your titties. Well, that's not going to happen because as you can see, I'm wearing pajama pants and stuff like that. So if you're looking for classy titty action, not happening. Go look up that Tara Reid nude shot or some shit. Actually, there weren't even any titties in that, which is strange because that girl does not mind showing her titties. Strange as they are. So, if you want to look up my work, please do. I really appreciate it. Please follow me on Twitter at the Jess McHugh. And my Facebook site, facebook.com/author.jessicamchugh, and my website, still a work in progress, www.McHughniverse.com. That word is written all over this vlog, so if you can't figure out how to spell it, figure out how to spell it. So I'm going to jump right into it with our very first segment, Books I Wish I Wrote! Obviously, it's the beginning of the year. A lot of people are starting absolutely new book lists and whatnot. I actually, unfortunately, did not read a lot of novels last year. I was very busy working on my own novels. Not that it is an excuse. And I'm going to be just as busy, if not more busy, this year. But I'm really trying to make an effort to read more novels. Last year, I was mostly reading short story collections and anthologies and whatnot. So I didn't actually, the first book I'm going to talk about, I didn't start reading in 2015. I finished it right before Christmas, and I'll give you a little cover right about here or so. This book is called The Love Curse of the Rumbaws by Jack Gantos. Okay, guys, so this is a young adult book, but I can't imagine any parents would actually say, go to their preteen and be like, hey, here is a book that will teach you about life and puberty and all that kind of stuff, because that's not what it's about. It is a very, very, very cool book, though, and like nothing I've ever read. It was recommended to me by my friend Erin, who is a librarian, so always trustworthy, and it's an amazing book about a young girl who discovers that the twins, the grown-up twins living across the street, are keeping their mother taxidermied in their basement. And, you know, it does kind of have that psycho feel to it. Just, you know, just reading that part, you're like, oh, what? Young adult? Really? But it's oddly sweet and romantic, even in its absolute cringeworthiness. So I highly recommend it. It's a pretty quick read. Love Curse of the Rumbaws by Jack Gantos. He is a writer of many young adult and middle grade books. So please do check it out. The next book I want to talk about is a book that many people have read, and I'm just getting around to it this year. I know, bad human being and writer. And that is American Gods by Neil Gaiman. Yeah, this book is fucking awesome. Yeah. You didn't really need me to tell you that at all. It's Neil Gaiman. He's the fucking shit. In and outside of his writing career, that dude is just the tits. So I don't really have to give you a summary. I'm actually still in the middle of reading it. The title sums it up pretty well. American Gods. Now, what I really am enjoying about this book is the vocabulary. I pride myself on having a pretty good vocabulary, as you can tell from this vlog, by my usage of the word tits and titties. So what I've been doing, and you know, this is the one advantage that Kindle has over print books, is when you see a word you do not recognize, you don't know so well, you just click on that guy and the definition pops up. So I've been going through and highlighting words that, you know, I might have read before, but when the definition doesn't right into my head, then clearly it's a word I need to better acquaint myself with. So I'm just gonna pop up some of these words right on the screen for you. And wait a minute, let me pull a really creepy face while I'm doing it. Knowledge is power. Now it's time for a segment I like to call Inspirado, aka Jessica is an ass. So as many of my followers and inky cohorts are aware, I do not believe in writer's block. Kind of refuse to. I feel like The Right Life is kind of like the movie The Labyrinth. It's not a straight A to B. You're gonna get thrown all over the place. It's a big fucking maze. You're gonna encounter little asshole hoggle creatures that are gonna distract you and throw you off course. For me, it's important to be Sarah at the end of the movie, looking writer's block right in the face and saying, "You have no power over me." I refuse to be the little cunty Sarah who's stomping around the labyrinth going, "It's not fair, it's not fair." You know, I know that makes me sound like a bit of an asshole, but I just find writing is a lot easier if you own your progress and your productivity, and yeah, everyone gets distracted, everyone procrastinates, but you know, you own it, man, and no one's gonna do the work for you. And I definitely like to be inspired by different things, not only, you know, what's coming out of my weirdo brain. So a lot of things I've been watching recently when it comes to short stories, there are two really excellent shows on Netflix right now. The first one is Black Mirror, which is, oh man, so intense. Love it. The other one is Darknet, and they're both really good short, like, anthology shows that are sci-fi, horror, fantasy kind of stuff. There were definitely some creepy ones in there that made it hard for me to go up the dark stairs and go to the bathroom in the middle of watching it, but I'm a bit of a pussy, so I definitely recommend them. I think I like Black Mirror a little bit more, I think, but both really cool. I'm also working on a historical fiction novel versus a villainy, so I have been watching the show Rain, which is on the CW. And this is one of those shows where you kind of have to turn off your brain. The history's a little wonky, and but it's still really good. Bash is hot as fuck. If you like stuff like The Tutors, I mean, I recommend it. The acting is pretty good. The storylines are pretty interesting. So, Inspirato. This might be either one of the coolest parts of the broadcast or one of the biggest failures. We'll see. Without further ado, what the fuck is wrong with my story? So as a writer, I completely understand how it is to write something, a short story especially, that you really love and submit it over and over just to get rejected. And you're like, what the fuck is wrong with my story? Please. And a lot of times, sometimes you'll encounter awesome publishers that will give you personalized feedback, but a lot of times you get a form rejection just because publishers are really busy and that slush pile is a motherfucker, man. But like I have a story that I have been unable to sell, and I have gotten personalized feedback that said, we really, really love this story. These are all the things we love about it, but we're not going to publish it. So I came up with the idea for you guys to send me some of those stories you've been having trouble publishing and selling. And can't figure out why. I thought it might be a good idea for me to blind read a story. Maybe you guys hearing it for the first time will be able to give some feedback to this author on what's wrong with it, or maybe if I trip up while I'm reading it, that might be a pretty good indication of what might be wrong with it. We'll see. It's an experiment, and this is the first time. So I did receive a short story, a flash fiction piece by Laura Roberts, one of my favorite inky cohorts. She helms the online literary salon, Black Heart Magazine, as well as buttontapper.com. She has written many books. Few of them are Confessions of a Three-Day Novelist. She's put out collections like Haiku for Lovers. Let me just look here. There's a couple of more. God, How to Suck Better. I don't need any help sucking, both ways, I don't think, but maybe I can learn a thing or two, who knows. So I'm going to go ahead and I have not looked at her story at all. I just printed it out really quickly, so we're going to see how this goes. All right. This story is by Laura Roberts, and it is called Headlines in Gooseville, a 100-word story by Laura Roberts. Dancing around the maypole, the rantipole and his trollop were eventually detained by police for public nudity and petty larceny. Once shackled, Peter piped up with plaintive mews and hues of his twin brother's trial for crying wolf, persisting in his delusions of sanity even as his hygiene insisted otherwise. The arresting officer demanded, "Well, young lady, have you anything to say for yourself?" She merely sniffed, threw back her shoulders, and ignored the porcine grin as he manhandled her into the back of the cruiser. The pickled peppers supposedly swiped were never located, thanks to Bo Peep's Kegel regimen. She had him in her pussy. Oh my. Okay. So, I mean, I definitely, I like it. Obviously, I tripped up there with some of the words in that first paragraph. I didn't what was good. Then again, I don't know. Rantipole. Rantipole? Really know what was going on right in the beginning of the paragraph. And right there in the second, my analysis of the short story cut off while I was in the middle of doing it. So I was gonna say I didn't actually really know what was going on until the arresting officer demanded, "Well, young lady, have you anything to say for yours?" Actually, I didn't even know until the end what exactly was going on. So that's a little bit of a problem in itself. I think And you know, it's my fault for not knowing the word rantipole and a rantipole, and that's something I'm definitely going to have to incorporate. Um, you know, I think this is a case of uh, you know, Amadeus. Too many notes. Too many notes. Little bit too much. I am a big fan of alliteration and rhyming. I think there's too much packed into that first paragraph there. I think it's a tiny bit confusing. And then, I mean, the last sentence is, what, seriously? Really? The last sentence is absolutely great, but, and you know, this is obviously a drabble, so it's okay for it to have kind of that bang punch at the end, but I would definitely suggest a little bit more editing of that first paragraph and cut out some of those rhyming words. And, oh, come on. Otherwise, I mean, I really like the last 3/4 of it. I mean, I like the whole thing, but I think it just needs to be cleaned up a little bit. If anybody has any opinions and comments, you can go ahead and leave those on the Facebook page when I post this. And also, I really want to thank Laura for being super brave and being the first one to take part in the "What the fuck is wrong with my story?" segment of broadcasts from the McHughniverse. I hope she's not offended by my opinion or anything, or by the fact that I didn't know a word she used. I think Tyler liked it, though. It brought him upstairs. That's nice. So thank you, Laura. And everybody should go check out Laura's work. Please do. She's published a lot of really, really wonderful things. Button Tapper Press and all of her good stuff. You can search her on Amazon, and I'll throw up a link here. Well, I'm not gonna. Okay, maybe I will then. But you know, please do check out her work. Thank you, Laura. And anybody can send me their stories as long as I didn't scare anyone off. I am going to have lots of different segments on broadcasts from the McHughniverse. I'm trying to keep these around 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes long. So I'm going to finish up today with just one more segment, just a Q&A segment. I put it out there on my Facebook page. Did anyone have any questions for me? So I'm going to go ahead and answer the few questions I got. Joseph Matulich, who is a fellow Postmortem Press author, asked the question, writing as quickly as you do, have you ever noticed an increase in temperature from air friction, like a defunct Soviet satellite re-entering the atmosphere? If you're asking if I get swamp ass, then yes. I mean, yeah, when I'm writing for a long time, I definitely, I'll get hot and sweaty. And unfortunately, it doesn't count as exercise, so that's definitely a problem I've encountered since going full-time. I hope that answers your question. William Hauser, who is also runs the Zombie Life podcast, which I have been a guest on, he asked the question, what's your favorite thing to snack on while writing? You know, I don't really snack while writing. I don't really snack, period, until late at night, for reasons. I would, wine? Beer? There's a sandwich in every beer. Yeah, I don't really snack while writing. I drink a lot of water while I'm writing. So there's that. Pat Scalisi, another Postmortem Press author, asked, if you could have dinner with one writer, dead or alive, who would it be and why? That's actually an easy one. I would absolutely have dinner with Roald Dahl, my favorite author, who is unfortunately no longer with us. Why? Ah, gosh. You know what? It's funny. I either think he would be super entertaining or a dick. So it would be interesting to find out either way. I wonder if he would be like me, where if he probably spent so much time writing, so much time in his little worlds, that when he gets out of those little worlds, he's like, I don't want to talk about writing at all. And I feel like if I asked him about his writing life, he would probably curse at me in Norwegian or something like that, and throw me out of Gypsy House. So. But Roald Dahl, I would definitely have dinner with Roald Dahl. Richard Langston asked, have you ever served time in a Turkish prison? I have not, but I have seen a grown man naked many times. And I have had Turkish delights. So, there you go. And the last question comes from Gina, and she asked what my favorite curse word is. I think if you are a regular follower of the McHughniverse, you know this one pretty well. Let's all say it together. Cut! So thank you so much, you guys, for sending me your questions. Anyone else who wants to send me a question for the next episode of Broadcast from the McHughniverse, feel free to send me an email at jessica@mchughniverse.com. Well, that's it for the first episode of Broadcasts from the McHughniverse. Thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in and surviving through the whole thing, unless you just skip to the end, in which, get your ass back to the beginning, you whore monkey. Actually, I did say you could skip ahead, so I'm the whore monkey. Hopefully I'll have lots of different segments in the future. Please send me more stories to read blind. No more than 800 words, please. Otherwise, it's gonna be a very long show. I have turned off comments on YouTube. So if you really, really want to call me a fat slut, you can jump on over to Facebook and do that, fulfill that need in your wonderful, beautiful soul. I want to thank you guys so much for the support and love, and please click on every link I put in this video, because not only are you helping me, but you're helping small press publishers and small press authors and self-published authors and wonderful, wonderful inky cohorts that I am very honored to call my very good friends. And, what else? Please subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can get all kinds of new videos from the McHughniverse. I also have a playlist of my holiday horror, which people seem to like. Hopefully I will be able to put out a CD one day. Let's see. Also, check out jessicamchughnbooks.com and www.mchughniverse.com. Follow me on Twitter, TheJessMchugh, and on Facebook, facebook.com/author.jessicamchugh. I'm on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and I think that's it. What a fantastic fucking day, droogs. Oh, and by the way, this show contains cursing. She had him in her pussy.